Hi guys, it's Dandelion Song, and I was looking at some of the numbers here, and probably nobody on my channel is going to be surprised that this is going on today, and actually that they picked this day, which is 8/24. Well, it started to happen on Friday, and let me see what date that was. It was 8/3. That would be at 8/38. And this is an 8/6/8. So this one, for me, this day makes more sense because it's an 86, which is when you kill something, you 86 it. It's 8 feet long, 6 foot deep. So we really weren't surprised to see this. We knew that all these numbers are rigged and they are just waiting for the right time to go ahead and crash this. The only reason why it hasn't crashed so far, if you've been following the dry index, this should have happened months and months and months ago, but they were holding it up. And the reason why they were holding it up is because they hadn't moved everybody yet into the bunkers. Well, they're moving people into the bunkers. They're not gonna crash it all super fast. They still have a few more people to move in, but basically everybody's moved in, and now it's time to crash the economy. And this is just so that they have chaos on top, so that we're not able to mobilize to take the bunkers back or to, do whatever we need to do to take care of ourselves. So I was looking here on this channel. I was mostly looking for the words that they're using, the sayings, because the way that they phrase things tells you what's going on, like not dead yet. So I haven't done this yet, so I'll just do this in the Gematria. I'll pause it and then I'll show you what it says. Hold on. All right, well, straight away we can see that we have the 113, and this is actually something in the modern numbers. When they put this in, Zachary K. Hubbard takes this to mean that it is a hoax. And there's so many ways to define a hoax. It's hard to put one word of hoax on everything. But basically, the gist of it would be that it's not what it seems to be, which the main thing, if you listen to these people talk, they're going to say, this is a natural correction. Well, basically, for sure it's not a natural correction. Some corrections might be natural, but it's a really long stretch of anybody's logic to think that the people in charge do not control the financial markets. They do control them. They've been controlling them ever since the time of, ever since the beginning. But what I wanted to show you is that, let's see, back to this one. This is the same number they use for the Freedom Tower and the same number for Fukushima. And I'm not sure the precise symbolism of those two events and how they're connected, but also Obama has this number and its mirror number in all three of his names. This number right here has both the 15 for the year, the 8 for the month, and the 6 for it has the date in it, the 6 for the digital root of the 24th, which is today. So they took some time thinking about this. This is an 18. So that one, I'm not seeing it yet, although, I don't really want to speculate on that. So I don't actually pay too much attention to the Jewish. Every now and then it's really, the Jewish, I think it's just mainly that I don't understand the Jewish. I think there is a lot to see in there. But I just want to point out to you that these Apocalypse shares this saying, not dead yet. So this is the reason why they put it here in quotations. Probably everybody at CNBC understands code and they know what these things are really saying. But most commoners don't know what they're really saying, and I have to go through all the numbers to see. So all the numbers on this picture, the color, his tie, everything is really code and important. And I would have to take a minute to look at all this. And there's another picture on this picture too is important. And this one from Huffington has the 155, and we saw this number over and over and over and over again in the Antioch hatchet fiasco at the Mad Max Mad Max showing. So it's not coincidence that this shows up. So I have to look around. There's these pictures have tons of code in them. So I'm going to pause this while I take a look, but I just wanted to talk about my first impressions here. And I will look at some more phrasing here, like we're going to look at roller coaster day of trading. Hold on, actually, maybe I have it up. So this is Black Monday. This is a really, we see our gateway number, and then English Gematria is 6 times the simple Gematria. And then here, if you took the digital root of part of it, which I think is also part of the code, that you would have a 111. So if you come down here, you can see everything that shares the 101 and the 606. They don't share the Jewish. So Tree of Life, Christian, Logos, Melchizedek, Crowley, Russian, Spiderweb, Gematria Code, Darth Vader, Philadelphia, Archetype, Immortal, Hoover Dam, Louisiana. Louisiana is a really important place. There's a lot of secret stuff that happens there. Some of these other ones, it's hard to know how they would tie in and etherically, but there is an esoteric connection between these sayings, these numbers, and what is happening today, or what the code they're trying to say is. So what they might be trying to say, like for example, what they might be trying to say, we have the Big Apple here in the New York Stock Exchange. So what they might be trying to say with this, because the human being is aware of the numbers. They don't realize they're aware of the numbers, but when they use a gateway saying like this, the message that the human being gets is, like say Kuan Yin or Christian or the Logos, they get that this thing it's a movement of God, or it's something really big, it's something super divine, it's like a spider web, it's larger than, it has a lot of connections, things we don't understand. So that's the feeling that maybe there's some fear in there. That's the feeling message that you get when you hear the word Black Monday. So for example, if you like close your eyes and you feel your energy, when you hear that word, you can maybe identify some of the strange associations that you have just with that word. So that's why we look at the esoteric associations of the codes that they're putting up here. It helps us understand what they're really saying. This one, it says roller coaster day trading, but anyway, when I backspace it, it does that. So let's show you this one. I don't remember that it was amazing, but we do have, yeah, we have the 86 right here. I think that is important. And it seems like there's a 7 and a 10 in common here. If we go down to this, these ones don't work. When you have a big phrasing, sometimes it's too complicated to work to find the association. So you would need to say day of trading or roller coaster. Let me just pause it and I'll take a look at these. All right, well, I did learn an association recently from Matthew Nicholson that this is a 322 number when you add it. Let's see. Yeah, I think when you just add it to itself. But the Jewish Gematria here is 584. I think we can skip that, but let me come down here to the 161. Masonic Grand Lodge. See, that makes sense, right? Rockefeller. Some people will see that Saturn is involved with this. It's funny, they have Apple, they have specifically Apple's, how Apple's doing in the market, fluctuation. So that's, let me pause it and look around a little more. I wanted to show you this one. This is just the NYSE. That's all I put in there, and that has associations with the Tetragrammaton, 11 spelled out, Paris, the Bible. So yeah, I think one of the seals has to do with financial devaluation of the currency. One of the horsemen has to do with devaluation of the currency. So the Bible, they would have Bible codes here in this. And let me spell this out and we'll take a look at it. Hold on. All right, I didn't see anything huge when I spelled it out. I was going to show it to you in case you see it, because I know some of you guys have the ability to see these numbers as well. These could be different dates, because I just did Global Whiplash, which was in one of these, and it does show the 9/6 date and possibly the 9/11 in the Jewish Gematria. This is what the Jewish Gematria is really good for. Sometimes they really stick to landing. It's kind of shocking when you look at the Jewish Gematria sometimes, where you can see the dates really pop out. Okay, well, I got this from the New York Times. A plunge in China rattles markets across the globe. And we can see this in the Jewish Gematria. So that would be an 18. And we've seen a lot of 18s. And I wish I should have written these down, because I think I've seen numbers similar to this before and this before too. So, just trying to figure out what they're up to here. Alright, well, right after I say that I have a hard time with the Jewish Gematria, it's just coming through for me. That's the date. It's the same that as we're having right now. It's an 8/6, which is the same as an 8/24. Let me show you the article. Global turmoil. Oh, not that one. This one. So here again we have an 18. Interesting. I'm going to have to figure out what the 18 is about. Let's see. So it shares with the Jewish Gematria, it shares with the Philosopher's Stone in the numerical alphabet of God. This is interesting because I had read or seen on YouTube that Google was going to change, I think I heard this, Google's going to change its name to Alphabet. And I had during the same few days I found that out, I was studying that with the Illuminatus Observer, that the alphabet is actually 26 smaller gods, and the whole alphabet together is supposed to be, the whole of God, according to this way of thinking. And this is why letters and numbers are so important to them, according to their way of thinking, I guess. Okay, American Founding Fathers. Global market turmoil. Let's look down at the English. The Gematria Dictionary. Sarah Palin makes the top there. She really... Okay, the 23rd card. I don't know. It gets a little sketchy the farther you go down here. Alright, well, maybe everybody has a 101-2 on their lapel, but this guy has a 101-2 on his lapel. Let me find... now I lost my... It wasn't this one. Let me find the other one. Hold on. Well, maybe this is the same guy. But I found him in 3 different pictures. The same guy. I'll show you. Okay. He's in that one. And he's in this one. And let me just show you the other one. Alright, so this must be the star of the show here. I don't see his name. Here he is again. I think it's the same guy. And here he is again. And somebody different sitting next to him over here. I wonder how many pictures this guy is in. Huh. Alright, here's another phrase I found, and it has the September 6th date in it, which has the 816, the 816 and 618 dates embedded in it. I've explained that in other videos. I'd show it to you again. It's just I can't do it without my pen and paper. So I just wanted to show you that Freemason shares all the numbers here. All the numbers with Don't Panic. That's a nice tidy little thing, isn't it? Let me go back and find Don't Panic. I think it was, yeah, on the LA Times. They want you to buy stocks. Oh, don't do that. I don't, you know, if this was a, I think there's a different plan this time. Let's do, I don't know if I've done stock market plunge yet. Pause it. All right, well here's the stock market plunge, and it's interesting because it has this 811 number. On 811 is when the Nefertiti story came out, and she also has 811 numbers, and I did a video on her, and it's on the Unlisted Dandelion Song blog. These other numbers, this is the 266th day of the year. And we did see in some of the other numbers, there was hints of 923, and that is the 266th day of the year. And most people now know that the 266th Pope is going to be arriving in the White House on the 23rd, which is the 266th day of the year. And he was elected on 3/13/13, and that is 923 days between that day and Yom Kippur, which is 9/22. So I just wanted to show you, I'm starting to put the pieces together on 811. It has to do with currency. This is a flow. So I really don't have this all, but it has to do with Nefertiti. And I'm just kind of trying to pay attention to this 811 number. But let's go down and look at the English and the Jewish Gematria here. I was hoping I was going to get a good connection on the 211, and it just looks like lots of weirdness here. That's a very interesting thing. Order of Rosicrucian, behold a pale white horse, and I thought this was, somebody told me this was actually a green horse, and this might be the horse about devaluation. I think it's the white horse. Is it the white horse, guys? Order of the Rosicrucian has to do with these numbers too. Take a look at how this is also an 8/6. This is the date that we're looking at. 8/6, 8/6. I know it's not the 6th of August, but the 2 and the 4 reduced to a 6, and that's how these guys think. So we need to kind of loosen up the way that we think of our numbers and try to see these connections. I love this song, and I know it means something, and I'm not sure, but these 1, 2, 3s, this is such a special type of, this is a total aside, but that's a really special counting up number. So it shares that. That's pretty interesting. Let's go back. Just wanted to go back real quick to Don't Panic, and the Freemason matched that. Let's just take another look here. Knowledge. I'm going to skip Freakazoid. That's an interesting word, though. Turtle. That's a creation myth, Earth cosmology type of thing. Destiny. Phi. That's interesting, right? Here we have, and then I should have mentioned this. In the English Gematria, I guess when you multiply 96 times 6, it's 576, and that is, it's kind of like a 711. So that's an important ratio for them. And I guess it really does make sense that it would be in the Gematria of ratio phi. Doomsday. So Doomsday matches with Don't Panic. MK Ultra. They have Don't Panic in here. Okay, so at the Seattle Times, they have a stock slump. They have that the Dow ends at 588 down. This is so close. This is within the Colel rule, you guys, of the 868, which is the date. Really. Yeah, I don't know if you remember me talking about the Colel rule, where the 0 and the 1, because all is nothing and nothing is all, that there's a code rule called the Colel rule in which you can be off by 1, and mostly it applies to the year, like 366 or 365. But we need to keep it in mind when we are just off by 1. That's almost the date. And here is the date written another way. And then here's our 155 number again. Remember in the beginning I talked about the 155 number, and that was on, I believe, let me think if I can just, I think I took down, all these guys. Let me think of what the other one was that I had up here. Oh, it was Huffington. They had a 155 up on theirs. They have a different actor, different pictures here. Here's your 923. And they even tell you to turn it over, don't they? Do you see that? Because it's negative. Turn it over. And then they have the 18s. And we were talking about the 18s, right? It's interesting there were so many 18s. And so here we have an 18 mirror. I think the more we just look at this and question it, the more clues are going to fall in. He's looking at the same thing. And then here we have this number. Seems like I just saw this number. But it's a 96. Yeah, we did see this number in the Gematria of one of their other sayings. So that's a 96, and this is an 8, and then we also have a 96 there. 2015 96. Are they telling us something? Here's another 96. Are they telling us something about 96? Because I have a weird feeling about 96. Well, I'm going to end up this video. I really haven't harped a lot on how you should prepare here. I was really just on Facebook, and nobody was really listening to me on Facebook. So I'm sorry I didn't get enough chance to rant and rave about how to prepare for things like this, but hopefully you have dried food, you have canned food, you have water, you have possibly a way to harvest water from the rain. You should take your money out of the banks. It's weird because I know that the banks are like a religion, and it feels so strange to go in and take your money out of the bank. But you need to do that. And then I do believe that we are going to see a devaluation of the currency, and so the way to it's possible we will be it's reasonable. Like, you might think it's freaky to talk about this, but it's actually reasonable to prepare for these possibilities when we see these kind of vulnerabilities. And we have a bunch of crooks running the show. I mean, really, it's not crazy to talk about this when you realize you have crooks running the show. They're pushing all the big buttons. So you might, hopefully it's not too late, but you need to prepare for a bartering economy. And so different things are going to be valuable. One way to prepare yourself is by buying gold. And I saw buying gold or silver, and I saw on one of these pages, I think it was this one, where they're like, don't buy gold. Well, while they're telling you not to buy gold, that's what they're doing. They are buying gold. Let me just do this. Oh, I can't remember if I showed you this one. Okay. They are buying gold. Well, and what I think you should buy silver, because silver is going to be easier to break into small pieces if you want to buy something like a $20, something that's worth $20. So here we have an 8-6. There's your date. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like that maybe that 101 gateway number that we have seen associated with this day. This is an 8, and it's a 6, and it's a 211. That was in another, I believe that, yeah, that was in another Gematria that I just did. And then there's also a 9 in here. So they do run those numbers. Let me just look real quick. I saw 1776. Universal laws. So they might just be wanting to tell you Elijah the prophet is a 1119. They might just be wanting you to have the feeling of like, it's inevitable, it's a movement of God. That might be the underlying message here in the numbers. I'm not sure that where they just want you to accept this and not realize that there's a bunch of crooks pushing the buttons. Okay, all right, well, thanks for listening. I hope that you are prepared, and I hope that we don't have to be prepared, but I think it's reasonable to be prepared. And I don't think it's crazy to be prepared. So if you still have a chance, go and prepare yourself. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.